Welcome back to the 52 Weeks to Wealth. My name is Gualter Amarelo. We've been on this journey through these wealth principles for 38 weeks now. This is wealth principle 38. And the reason we do these wealth principles is so we can increase our income and increase our time that we're able to do the things that we want to do. Everybody in this room, everybody who's been on this call for the last year is focused on doubling their income and doubling their net worth. Hands to the camera if that is true. And we're on a mission to build 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires. So this year at the 100 Millionaires Summit, we focus on a product called Mastery. Who here knows that every master was once a disaster? True or true? I love it. So wealth principle 38, before we dive into it, I want to share a quick little story on how I discovered this principle. It wasn't common sense to me. Who here, like when you hear the words, sell your product before you buy or create it, you think that's impossible. Has anybody ever thought I can't buy or sell my product before I create it? Okay, a couple people. Millionaire wealth principle 38 is sell your product before you build or create it. And when I say product, it could be service. Sell your product or your service before you buy or create it. Too many people in this business, we're in real estate, right? We too often in this business will go out and work for free before we make any kind of money. Who here has ever said that before? Oh, I work, for free before I make any money. We lock it down. We invest. We are spending all this time and energy, and then eventually we make money if there was a client that wanted it, if we did a good job, and if we brought it to the marketplace on time. So some of those challenges can be beat by selling things, or at least presenting the sale and asking for money in advance. We call this pre-selling. Who here's ever bought something that was pre-sold before? A book or a video game or a ticket to an event? Absolutely. So we've all been in experience of pre-selling, and it's also something that like a business does for a good reason. It saves them a lot of challenges. There's a lot of benefits to it. Who wants to know how this ties into our business? Would that be interested? One, wholesaling is a perfect example of I don't own the thing, right? I haven't bought it. I haven't paid for it. I haven't created it. Somebody else created the product. I'm literally just testing the market to see if this would sell. Another example would be agent buyer contracts. Where are my real estate agents at? Hands can if you're a licensed agent and you've heard of these buyer contracts. Well, these buyer contracts mean you're getting paid up front prior to the close, or you're at least getting hooked up with an increased commission on the back end of the close. Another example would be offering paid education. So those three examples are people like that make money upfront prior to ever going through and deciding, okay, am I going to build this? In fact, the 100 Millionaire Summit is a perfect example of something that we pre-sold. If you think about it, there was no stage, there was no lights or sound when we put the landing page together a year ago. True or true? Hence, if that's like, you realize like there was nothing there, right? We had a whole year to plan, prepare, sell tickets. If nobody bought the tickets, we just say, hey, you know what, we're just going to push this to another year. Or we could decrease the size of the venue. We could decrease the amount of specialty that we brought to it. So there's a lot of different things that you are able to do as a entrepreneur that help you when you're pre-selling. The first time I learned this was actually from T. Harv Eker. I was at the Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and then I bought a program called Quantum Leap. And then I got to this event called Train the Trainer. Brian Huffman was actually a trainer already, right? Brian, you were there. We learned the same process. And the guy on stage was like, yeah, this is how we sell events. I was blown away. He's like, I don't actually know what's going to be at the event. The way I build my event is I'm in a room and I'll be on stage and I'll be there with the whole room. Every single one of us was in the room watching somebody on stage who was presenting an idea, a concept, some sort of tremendous value. And then another value was the people in the room. There's so many people in the room. Now on stage, you probably noticed me asking the question, what are your biggest challenges? Who noticed that? I asked, what challenges are facing you? At one point, I had a whiteboard and I had somebody writing on the whiteboard, what are you facing? What are your challenges? And I also asked, what are your desires? What are you looking for? And the reason we do that is so that I can create a great product. Now, yes, I already had Mastery designed. I already had it in my head, like designed for everybody. But during the Q&A session, I was ready to go and change the product. Does that make sense? I was ready to add more to it if I had to. I was ready and willing to go and make more adjustments. So we're at this event and the speaker comes out on stage and he's sharing with us how to be a great speaker, how to train people, how to educate people faster. And he says, what I need from you is to play with me here. And he started asking questions. So saying like, what stops you right now from being successful? And we all shouted out, we don't have any money. Yeah, right. We don't have any deals. We don't have any experience. Or we've never spoken before. We've never promoted an event before. We didn't know how to do anything, right? So he's listing all those things. And then after he says, what are your goals? Why would you want to speak? What are reasons to speak? And so we started getting our inspiration. And I was thinking, well, I could help more people. Maybe I could bring more clients to my business as a real estate agent. If I go out and I market like this whole, here's how you buy real estate, maybe I get more clients into my business. And I also thought, who knows what it could turn into? Maybe I'm going to be raising capital from stage. I mean, there's so many values from learning how to speak. True or true. Hence the camp, if you could speak to 10 people instead of one person, it's a lot better. I was very excited to learn. I'm telling him all this. All the other people are telling him these things. And wouldn't you know, on day 2, he comes out with exactly a program that solves those problems. Now, he said it to us on stage, and he said this assistants he had at the back of the room. He said, okay, guys, can you record this and take notes of everything I say so that he could actually be held to committing to it, because he hadn't actually built the product. He was building it right there on stage with us. And then he said, what if I did this? And what if I did this? What if I did it in this time frame? What if it was presented this way? And by the end of it, I was realizing, and he told us, he said, I'm going to go through this process and basically write down everything that you told me that you wanted. And then he asked, what do you want to pay for? What would it be worth to you? How much would it make sense? And we gave him a number. And then he said, well, here's the price. This is exactly what you said it could be worth, and I'm going to offer it to you that who's still interested. So I'm going to give you today the 3 reasons to pre-sell your product, like why you should pre-sell your product. And this comes from every industry, like you name it. The only exceptions I'll give you are if it's a super competitive market and there's already a ton of competition in there. And like maybe in that case, it wouldn't make sense to pre-sell. In that case, you already have a proven concept. So number 1 reason is to align with your client's values. Number 1 reason we pre-sell is to make sure that what we're offering is actually in line with the people that we're working with. It also gives us feedback. When I say in line, I'm saying like we can put it out there, a product, and find out, is this actually something they want? If they're not clicking the buy button, there's a good chance it's not something they're interested in. If you're putting it out there and your clients aren't buying, then we've gauged interest. When we did the business plan on day 3, who knows that some people in the room were not able to fill that final check bar out. They was like, I don't know. I've never tested the product on somebody. There was a lot of people who were like, well, I actually don't know this data. That's homework, right? Go out and test with your clients. Would you buy a product like this? Before building it, buying it, or creating it, find out from your clients if this makes sense and get that alignment, because it's going to help you improve your product as you're going along the way. So that brings me to number 2, the second reason. You can improve your product's effectiveness. Just by pre-selling and testing it, you can identify whether the person actually wants it to look this way or feel this way or operate this way, or if some changes need to be made. Hands to the camera if you've had to make some changes to your business or your product and services over the time you've been in business. And number 3 is minimizing your risk to the business. Some of us have to spend tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars in actually building our products and actually improving our products or getting them to the marketplace. So in order to save that, like reduce that risk, it makes a lot of sense to go and see, will the marketplace buy this? Remember, wholesaling is a no risk strategy, right? Hence, if you know a wholesaler, real estate wholesaler, who's thinking about like, I do this because there's no risk. You have literally no money on the table. Maybe you're $100 for the signed contract. You have no money on the table in order to generate a business that could make you on a sale anywhere between 5,000 to, I've heard of wholesale deals that are 250,000. You've got to be in bigger deals to justify that. You're not going to make 250,000 on a house that's worth 250,000. True or true? It only works on bigger deals. You want those bigger commissions. There has to be the meat on the bone. Like for us, we see this as real estate investors. It's not easy, right? Every real estate investor is thinking, man, like I want to retire now, right? Who here would love to have all your rental properties cash flowing, making all that money and be done with it, right? Like that's why we get into real estate. We want financial freedom. We want legacy. We want passive income so that we don't have to work. So we can do, ready for it, whatever we want, whenever we want, with whoever we want. Who defines freedom that way? The ability to do whatever you want with whoever you want. Absolutely. So we all have this theme in common, but we know there's steps. We know there's some things that we have to do, some actions that have to be taken. And a lot of times, and I think at the summit, we really pounded on heavily the network. Who felt that at the summit, that we really were speaking deeply on you can have whatever you want when you have the people in your network that you can serve. When you get enough people who have the problems you're looking to solve, right? If you're looking to raise capital, the biggest problem your clients have is that they've got too much money and it's got to go get a return. And if you're in real estate, you got too much money and it's got to get exposure to real estate. Many times somebody sells a company, sells real estate, or sells stocks, or is way too exposed in stocks or crypto, and they just want to get a little bit more of that real estate hedge, that real estate safety. Hence, if you know right now, especially with the stock market down, that real estate's looking extremely attractive. It's just one of those investments that everybody is looking at saying, man, I wish I was more exposed to that right now. It seems to be doing very well. And all my real estate investor friends are crushing it, even with interest rates moving. We can talk about that later on. All questions on interest rates and inflation. We can talk about that later. I did a nice talk about it on Friday night at the 100 Millionaire Summit. And then it was cool because some of the other speakers, we didn't really collaborate on this, but some of the other speakers just validated everything that I was saying about the market and where we're at. And you can make money in a market like this, and you should make money in a market like this. If you're not making money in a recession, in a downturn with this much inflation, with interest rates rising, you're just not paying attention. You're just not building your network deep enough to get the deals. You're not building your network deep enough to go and get the money to do the deals. And this is my call to action for you now. Start now, right? Just start going out and building your relationships with people who have money, building your relationships with people who have deals. Wholesalers, realtors have deals, and then private investors have money. More millionaires are built in a downturn than any other time. So I'm glad that you're on board, because that's what we do. We build millionaires. And the easiest way to do it is in a recession. It's about educating yourself and taking the right actions. So there are a couple of steps to actually doing this. The first step, the 6 steps. So we're going to go through those 6 steps really right now, really quickly. Okay, like I said, it works for any product, but especially works very well in real estate. First, find out how the market describes their pain points. If you're working with motivated sellers and you're looking to acquire property, you've got to know what their issues are. Is it death, divorce, disease, denial? Is somebody lost a job? It's finances. Is there somebody who is just looking to live somewhere else? Maybe they want to move to Florida. Hence, if you know, a lot of people are moving to Florida. A ton of people moved to Florida during COVID, and a lot of businesses are moving to Florida just to get rid of taxes from Massachusetts and New York and Connecticut and some of these other states like California. So you're seeing a lot of people move. So there's reasons that property is being left behind. And right now, the baby boom generation is the biggest one. That one's coming, and they're going to be dropping a ton of real estate into the market. Find out what their challenges are. So step 1 is to find out how they describe their pain so that you can market to them, so you can build a relationship with them. Step 2, well, create a clear vision. The second step is to make sure that your vision is clear. In our business, we go and we build landing pages, or we do sheets. Sometimes it's just a clear description of something, but you must make sure that you're able to clearly define, clearly speak, or clearly visualize what you're looking to sell. Who's been to a mall and outside in the food court area, they've got these little trays and dishes with food or ice cream inside them? Who's ever seen those before? That's another way to get clarity around what the product is. They're using taste. They're saying, hey, here, taste a little bite. Let me know what you think. Now, I don't know about you, but every single time, or at least 80% of the time, I taste teriyaki chicken outside of one of those places, I either go and buy teriyaki chicken from that venue or the one on the side of it, right? It works. It's clear evidence that giving away a little example of something, or giving a clear vision of something, or in this case, a clear taste of what you're getting, is going to inspire a person to make a move in a way that they might not have originally decided to go towards. Number 3, determine the support level needed. So you're going to, depend upon how many you sell. By the way, we sold a product this week at the 100 Millionaire Summit. So depending on how many you sell, you were going to have a different staff level. So at the 100 Millionaire Summit, we weren't sure how many people were going to jump into Alchemist Mastery. So we were really concerned. We're like, okay, if 100 people come into this, we might be in trouble. 200 people come into this, we're going to have to really scale up everything that we've built and how we're operating. And we knew somewhere between that 30 to 50 mark was going to be absolutely easy peasy. We could do it with our current staff, and we were ready to scale up. Hence, if you know, you could do this in your business too. Pre-selling gives you some time. We made sure that the mastery program in many ways didn't start until January, but we also made sure the Jumpstart program started right away. That's a piece of the program we already had in existence. There's things that you already have that you can make as the front of your program or the front of your service. For example, real estate agent, you do a lot of coaching kind of up front with your clients. True or true? There's like, hey, this is how you evaluate a deal. This is how to, check out a property before you and I go to the property. Here's how you get your pre-approval. There's all these different steps. We used to do home buyer seminars, and we charge new home buyers to come in and learn the process. Hands to camera, that's a pretty good way to make money. Absolutely. And it's not the ticket sales that you make your money on. It's actually the vendors that are at the event that you make your money on. It's the lenders, it's the attorneys, it's the inspectors, it's the home insurance agents. All of these other people who want this same client's business have paid us, $2,000 to $5,000 just to be at a home buyer seminar. And Karen, if you recognize you can make some money this way, if you're a real estate agent, you can make money up front to collect. One of my biggest things from the summit was I was like, dude, you got to get paid to do your marketing, right? You've got to get paid to do marketing. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind all the other agents who are already getting paid to do their marketing, or somebody who's been in the business for 10 years, 20 years, who has a big database. If you understand, you've got to be able to, person who makes more from the marketing or is able to make the most from their client is able to acquire the next client. So if you can actually make your marketing profitable, you're gonna do very well. So number 3 was determine the level of support needed so that you can make sure that you're able to deliver on a product. We always want to over deliver on something that we're offering. Number 4, create a sales page. Well, it's a step towards visualizing, right? It kind of goes back to number 2, which was create a vision. For most of us, a sales page for our process, for our product, our service is going to be a huge benefit. For the Alchemist Nation, right? Who here has been Alchemist Nation and has had to go in and log into something, right? That sales page gives us your contact information so we can follow up and build a deeper relationship. So your business, your model, in fact, most cryptocurrencies have just a landing page. All it is, before they even offer their blockchain, they're like, here's what it's going to look like. Here's what it will do. It's going to solve, and then Mitch Jorsky knows what I'm talking about, all the world's problems right here in 3 different bullet points. And that's every crypto page ever. And they say, we're going to do this. We're going to get all these users. We're going to do this thing. And you just got to invest now. And you're buying a cryptocurrency that doesn't even exist. In many cases, you're just putting money into an account and you hope that that cryptocurrency actually comes to fruition at some point. It's the same thing with wholesalers. You get your property, and a lot of wholesalers are so behind in the times. They're so outdated that they'll just text you like, here's the numbers on the property. Or they a lot of them are so uneducated that they'd just be like, hey, I got a wholesale deal. It's a property is worth $250 and you can get it for $180. And so I do like, I need more data. Hand scan, if you like more data from your wholesalers, send me a picture. Like, can I get some information on this thing? So a really smart wholesaler will actually go and put it online. And we've actually released at the summit, as our first release, is Alchemist Properties. Alchemist Properties is now an opportunity where you don't have to build a landing page. We've got the landing page built for you. And it's got a built-in search engine so that investment buyers like ourselves, cash buyers, can just go on and sort through all the inventory of the properties that are on the market. If you haven't already checked out Alchemist Properties, you go to alchemiststation.com, go down on the left side, the tab, and just hit Alchemist Properties. And you can search the inventory that is already been uploaded. You see like properties are in Florida. And it's really cool because the biggest problem with wholesalers is their technology. Most wholesalers are just not tech savvy. Hence, Cam, if you know that's true. Most like wholesalers are just really good at finding the deals. They're not so good at dispositioning the deals. And for us to be like, okay, go build a landing page for every property, or go build a landing page of your properties would be just, it would stop every wholesaler dead in their tracks. True or true? Like most of them just don't have that ability. It allows you, if you're wholesaling, to already put your property out there and get this beautiful landing page. I'm not going to show it now, but you can go to alchemistproperties.net, or you just go to Alchemist Station on the left side. You can go and check it out yourself. I revealed the whole thing at the summit, and I thought it was super cool because I got to release the technology. But the reason we do it is your landing page is going to show somebody what is involved. For coaches, trainers, speakers, go look at the 100 Millionaires Summit landing page. Go to I Build Millionaires, that landing page, and you can see like we're sharing a little bit of knowledge, information of why somebody should click on this thing that we're offering. Number 5, launch the pre-sale. Perfect example is a book, right? Like Michael Shine just launched his book this week at the 100 Millionaires Summit. You can now go buy it on Kindle, which, by the way, Mike, I know we've got a different book of the week, but can you just for a second share a little bit about your new partnership book? If you want to learn more about partnerships, go read Mike's book. Hands to the camera if that makes a lot of sense. Like he's kind of the best in partnerships. He's got all his businesses are partnerships.
Hey, so it's just kind of my journey with partnerships and the lessons I've learned. So that's a quick little summary.
When we launch the pre-sale, we're usually saying something like early bird special, or get it before everybody else does.
Yeah. Fast track to millions, how to profit through partnerships. And the reason we titled it that was because it really accelerated everything I was doing. Gualter was talking 5 to 7 years, or maybe 3 to 5 years. And suddenly through Alchemist Nation, I started getting into partnerships and it just accelerated everything. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, tells my story, but it also tells you what red flags to avoid and also what green lights to go through. So yeah, get it on Kindle right now.
Number 6, close it out and collect the feedback. After you've done your pre-sale, by the way, I'm going to give you a perfect example. I love this. Who remembers the recession proof challenge? Who's been a part of it already? Hands down if you've done the recession proof challenge. Awesome. So the recession proof challenge, all it was a landing page. It was literally a landing page. And then once people started signing up, me and Andrew started building the course because we had 2 weeks. We gave ourselves 2 weeks to pre-sell the course, make sure that it was something that people were interested in. And then once we realized the 2 weeks were like, people were like, we had, I think, 70 people sign up in the first 2 weeks. Hands down if that's a pretty good response for a course. We thought so, especially for like a course that's never been run before, beta test. So we had 70 people show up and we said, man, we got to go do this. And we made it a 30-day challenge. I was talking to Andrew this week and he was telling me, he's like, I think we could cut it down to 21 days. And now that we've run it 3 times, we understand some of the gaps, some of the challenges, some of the opportunities, and we think we can more efficiently teach the process and get everybody going in 21 days. Hands to the camera if that's a pretty cool rendition. Like one of the benefits of pre-selling it is we got an idea of where our audience was. But one of the other benefits of actually running it was we were able to collect a lot of feedback. We were able to get a lot of information. And when you pre-sell, like you'll start getting people asking you questions. So all of that feedback has helped us with the development of the product. All of that like information that people have sent over has now, our alchemists, right, are letting us know how we can improve what we're already sold.